Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Turbo and welcome back to Turbo's Nerdery. That's right, and today I'm going to be giving you my Turbo review on the Stan Lee's LA Comic Con. So after I filmed this and started cutting it all together, I realized that it was way too long, sitting at over half an hour. So I'm chopping it up into three parts. This is going to be part one, where I talk about day one, meeting Stan Lee and on the lines and kind of the introduction to the Comic Con. Part 2 is going to be talking about my greatest of all time poster, and then part 3 is going to be talking about the sketches, and I've got a lot of artist footage there. So enjoy part 1 and come back and join me for parts 2 and 3. Thanks a lot. It happened over the last weekend in October, 27th through 29th. There was a 3-day con, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I went all 3 days. I had the 3-day multi-pass. Boom. Really that was cheaper than getting tickets for 2 days. And I figured it'd be nice to make a long weekend out of it. You know, I've been working a lot lately, and I thought it'd be nice to take a little extra time off. And then also I had to go out there for the World Series. Had to. Which was also great. Thank you, Dad. And it was good to go with my Grammy. But that was on Wednesday, and then, with Comic-Con starting on Friday, I figured I'd just stay out there and then go to the con. Yeah. So it was a good time, 3-day thing, and I'm going to give you a review of all 3 days, kind of breaking it down into 3 days. You can see I'm surrounded by some of the awesome stuff I got there, some of the great art and prints. But I'm going to go, day by day. First thing that struck me day one is that, Stan Lee's Comic-Con was the biggest con I've ever been to. I've been to Stan Lee's Con before, back when it was Kamikaze, I think back in 2013. 2014 maybe, back in the day, kind of, several years ago. But it wasn't this big. I've been to WonderCon, which is big. It wasn't as busy as Stan Lee's was this time, especially on Saturday. But even on Friday, like, the line struck me, Friday most of my day was in the line, and finding the right lines to stand in, because there's an area to go in. I had pre-bought a ticket for a Stan Lee autograph on Friday, so you had to go stand in line to redeem your digital ticket for a paper ticket, and then you had to stand in line for the autograph. So with all that standing in line, I think that was 4 hours altogether, which was a lot of line standing. And looking back, I would have done a little different on Friday, and I did it different on Sunday. And I will share some of those tips. I'm going to be doing a Turbo tutorial on how to do a good Comic-Con, based on your priorities, of course. And we'll talk about that more then. Also, another line that struck me, and we're going to cut to this in a minute, was the Hot Topic line. They had some Hot Topic exclusives, and I guess at one point you could buy a convention exclusive Kevin Smith pop that he was signing somewhere. I missed out on how to do that, but I saw someone with a signed Kevin Smith con exclusive pop. He was very excited. I complimented him on it. I don't know if I would have stood in line to do that, and I certainly wouldn't have stood in that Hot Topic line. It went almost from one end of the convention center to the other, and we're going to cut to that video right now so you can see just how long that line was. This is still the Hot Topic line. And this is still the Hot Topic line. Okay, also, after I redeemed my digital ticket for the paper ticket, I was heading over to the Stan Lee line, and I saw an awesome Moon Knight cosplay.
Very few people even recognize Moon Knight, but I've been recognized so many times this year.
And when I went to pull my GoPro out of my pocket, I guess my Stan Lee ticket fell out too. And I didn't realize until I was halfway across the convention center. And so I retraced my steps, and luckily the ticket was still there, basically where I pulled the camera out of my pocket, laying face down on the ground, so it just looked like a white piece of paper, a little rectangle on the ground. And when I saw it, I screamed and I ran for it, like across the one whole aisle, and people were kind of scattering and freaking out. But I was very excited that it was still there. And so this was also the magic ticket, because I'm not going to show off most of the autographs I got, because I got a lot. I got this big box full and then some, maybe 1.5 times this. I brought several boxes of comics to have signed, and I got a lot of them signed. And I'm going to be saving those because I'm going to be going into weekly segments of showing off cool autographs I have, including autographed comics, which includes some of the ones I got from this con. So I'm not going to go into a lot of them, but I do, since we're talking about the Stan Lee autograph and everything, I do want to show off one autograph I got, which was Stan Lee's autograph on Avengers number 6, which is the first appearance of the Masters of Evil. So that was a fun comic to have signed. Here's the certificate of authenticity. That's not actually the comic I had signed on the first day. The one I had signed on the first day, I'm having slabbed, so encased in plastic and graded, and it has to go out and then get sent back in the mail. But they were kind of charging a premium for that service, even more than they normally do, and I didn't want to spend that for more than one. You even had to pay for the certificate of authenticity, but you definitely want to have that. I mean, I wouldn't buy a Stan Lee autograph without some sort of certificate showing that it's real. And this is from Stan Lee's comic, Excelsior Collectibles, his collectible company, Excelsior Collectibles. So it's very legit, and not that I'm looking to sell it, but if my heirs ever need to sell it, or if I ever have to sometime, you know, you can. We've got the paperwork, so that's cool. But now I mentioned how my ticket on Friday was kind of a magic ticket, and not only did I drop it and then find it again later, they forgot to take it from me when I got my first comic signed. And, you know, I'm honest. I build up good honest karma. I'm almost always honest. But I wasn't about to hand over this $120 ticket just because they forgot to ask me for it. So I went back through the line a second time, and I saw this as a sign that I should start. Now, I had brought this print with me. This was a print that came from my Bandbox expansion. And if you watch my unboxings, you know about the Bandbox. But I actually didn't much like this print when it came to me. It's kind of plain. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But then I knew the Stan Lee's Comic-Con was coming up. A lot of incredible artists and writers and creators that I like are going to be there. And I thought I would use this print, now I'm building it up because it's awesome, maybe to kind of do a whole collection of everyone that was at the con. But then that would have to require me spending $120 to get Stan Lee's signature on this, and then getting everyone else's signature around it. And I had a hard time convincing myself to do that. But since I had this golden ticket, a free autograph, I saw it as a sign that I needed to do it. And so here's the reveal of my Stan Lee Comic-Con 2017 Comic-Con poster. Alright, so that wraps it up for part 1. Come on back for part 2, where we're going to talk about the greatest of all time poster, and then part 3 later on, where we'll be going over my sketches and have a lot of artist footage. Alright, thanks a lot for joining me. Come on back and join me again next time. Until then, be excellent to each other.
With the help of God and true friends, I come to realize I still have 2 strong legs.